Sanderson, Secret Project 1, it's here. I've read it. Finally. Let's talk about it right now. Coming right up on Drew's Book Reviews. All right. Let's talk about Tress of the Emerald Sea. Brandon Sanderson, Secret Project number 1. It's finally here, and I finally got to read it, and I'm so excited to be part of this project that Brandon Sanderson is putting out with these 4 secret novels project. I'm so happy to be part of the Kickstarter on this. Let's talk about it. So, Tress of the Emerald Sea. This will actually be released by Tor in, I believe, April. So if you're not part of the Brandon Sanderson Secret Project Kickstarter, then definitely you will have an opportunity to read this book. This will be a non-spoiler review because I know that not everybody has had the chance to read it yet or is possibly planning on getting it come April. So this will be a non-spoiler review for Tress of the Emerald Sea, Brandon Sanderson's project. Now I have to say I did really enjoy this, but before we get into that, go ahead and leave a like, comment down below, let me know what your thoughts were on this book if you read it or if you're planning on buying it when it's released with Tor later on. And also, of course, don't forget to join me over on my Discord. That'll be linked below. My Bookstagram, hardcover, all that's going to be linked down below, so be sure to go and check that out. Let's talk about Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. So this is the first of 4 Secret Project books that he's releasing this year. I put it right up to the top of my TBR, and I'm so happy I had the opportunity to read this and be part of this. I read the ebook personally. I'm still waiting for my hard copy edition. Actually wanted to wait to film the review so I could hold up the physical book, but I just couldn't wait to film this review and talk about it. So here we are, talking about Tress of the Emerald Sea. So Tress lives on a new planet in the Cosmere. I believe this planet was referenced as Lumar. Pretty sure that's what it was. Lumar on this new planet. This is a planet with 12 moons, and each of the 12 moons are kind of in this geosynchronous orbit around the planet. And these 12 moons produce these spores which fall to the planet, creating these spore seas. This is part of the investiture or magic of this world within the Cosmere by Brandon Sanderson, where the spores, they interact with things like water on the planet below and create this response. So you might be able to grow vines or create these creatures out of them that you can control and things like that. So it's kind of like the magic system within this book. I don't want to get into too much detail because I don't want to spoil anything. As I said, this is going to be a non-spoiler review. But one thing that's really interesting about this book is definitely it's got much more of a young adult feel to this than other Cosmere books within the greater Brandon Sanderson Cosmere. So definitely more of a YA feel behind it, where Tress is this girl, she's fallen in love with the Duke's son, Charlie, living on this rock of Digger's Point on the planet of Lumar, here in the greater Cosmere. Lumar being this backwater world that it doesn't really seem all that important in the greater Cosmere, and maybe it becomes important, I don't know. We only have 1 book on Lumar so far. But anyway, Tress and Charlie are basically falling in love. They're this young teenage couple, and Charlie is shipped off, taken away by his father, and kidnapped by the sorceress, and then Tress has to go and rescue her love, Charlie. So this is very much a Princess Bride inspired story. Sanderson himself has said that this is inspired by the Princess Bride, and I definitely have to say that it definitely has that Princess Bride feel. The idea, basically, what you want to look at, what happens if you cross Princess Bride with the Cosmere, and this is what you get. You get Tress of the Emerald Sea. So Tress lives on this ocean, of this spore ocean. And the idea is, if you think about sand, like a desert of sand, that's what the spores are. It's like sand. But sand, like any kind of thing like sand, can become fluidic in how it behaves under certain conditions. And that's kind of how these spore seas are. They kind of become this fluidic behavior under certain conditions as you get vents from the bottom of the ocean floor sprouting up through the spores, creating these ocean waves, and then the boats can sail across the ocean. And each of these different spores has different abilities or reactions based on that. What's really interesting about the world that Brandon Sanderson has created here, and the magic system as a whole, is that it feels much more part of the inherent biological nature of this world. Now, the story is told by Hoyd, who is our famous Cosmere world hopper. So Hoyd is there telling us a story about Tress and her adventures to rescue Charlie. So definitely he goes in at points in the book to kind of explain the investiture and magic system and and how the magic functions on this world that we find our stories, this particular story in. So it's definitely part of the greater Cosmere magic system, but it also feels a lot like it's more just kind of the biological inherent nature of the planet's ecosystem and biology and how the magic functions, which is really just awesome. I love how that's done. Sanderson is definitely known for his magic systems and complex magic systems. And in fact, we could probably do a separate video on each of Sanderson's magic systems and each of the Cosmere. In fact, I just might do that. Never know. So stay tuned. Who knows, right? But in any case, this story is narrated by Hoyt, who is at best a lot of times thought of as an unreliable narrator. So we don't know which parts he might have actually been exaggerating and which parts were actually real, but still very enjoyable all around. Now, there were some drawbacks to this book I found personally that just didn't seem to fit. And it's funny because it's not so much that I didn't like seeing these references in the book, but I didn't feel like these were references that belonged in a Cosmere book, if that makes any sense. At some points throughout the book, things like H.P. Lovecraft are referenced. Now, I'm not going to say more on what that is. If you know H.P. Lovecraft, you'll recognize it when you read it. But that kind of took me out of it a bit because H.P. Lovecraft is awesome. I like H.P. Lovecraft, but I just didn't feel it fit in a Cosmere story. It didn't make sense that it was there. And sure, it might be a nice little, maybe Sanderson was thinking this would be a nice little Easter egg for the readers, but it took me out of it a little bit there with some of these references that I just didn't feel belonged in the Cosmere. Now, definitely throughout the book, there are a crazy amount of Cosmere references scattered throughout the book of different creatures and different worlds and different magical systems. This book is absolutely full of Cosmere references. If you're a Cosmere fan and a Cosmere junkie, you're going to love every one of these references. But the great thing about Tress of the Emerald Sea is you do not have to be new to the Cosmere to enjoy Tress of the Emerald Sea. It's very much can. In fact, I would probably say before I might have said Elantris or Warbreaker was a great introduction to the Cosmere and a starting point, or the Emperor's Soul even. But at this point, if someone were to ask, where should I start with the Cosmere? What's a good introduction to the Cosmere? And I'd say Tress of the Emerald Sea. And as you're reading through the book, you're going to see all these different references to different things that you probably won't know if you haven't read the Cosmere, but if you have read the Cosmere, you'll know it. And I love that. And I just love seeing those references thrown in there. That was a lot of fun for me personally, enjoying those reference points throughout this book and of the other Cosmere aspects. One thing I will say as well is Charlie. Now, here's the thing with Charlie. Nothing wrong with Charlie as a character, but the name, it just seems kind of boring to me. For a Sanderson book, especially a Cosmere book, Charlie just seems so plain when it comes to naming conventions. I mean, you look throughout the Cosmere and there's so many different names in the Cosmere that could be just fun, and like Shalon and Selphrenia and Vin and, you know, all these different cool names throughout the Cosmere. Tress, of course, seems very fitting for a Cosmere name, but Charlie just seems out of place to me personally from what I've become accustomed to with Cosmere naming convention. I know that might be a bit of a nitpick, honest. It probably is a bit of a nitpick, really, but it didn't seem like a typical Cosmere Sanderson book name or a character name. That's fine. Not a big deal. Just throwing that out there. But in any case, overall, I will say I really enjoyed this book. I enjoyed the story. Definitely more of a YA feel, but still a lot of fun with the different characters. We got animal companions in here, and I'm not going to say what that animal companion is because, again, I don't want to spoil it. Well, I'll say this is the first Cosmere book, and maybe this is a slight spoiler, but I really don't see it as a spoiler, so I'm going to say it anyway. This is the first Cosmere book where there is a dragon in it, and while other Cosmere books where it's been suggested that Sanderson himself has said there are dragons in the Cosmere, this is the first book we actually have where a dragon actually makes an appearance, which is awesome. Because I was wondering when that was going to happen. So many big Cosmere books and series, and this is the first one that a dragon makes an appearance. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to tell you what part this dragon plays in the book. I'm just going to tell you that a dragon makes an appearance, and it was just an all-around fun read. I'm so glad I had the opportunity to read this book. Great read. Loved every part of it. Well, maybe not every part. There were a few things that are kind of like, what's that doing there? But, and I will say that definitely the latter half feels less YA than the first half. But definitely overall a great read, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm really looking forward to Secret Project number 2 in April. And I'm also really looking forward to getting my physical copy, and you can bet I'm going to do an unboxing short on that at the very least, once I actually get my physical copy of Tress of the Emerald Sea, which I'm really looking forward to. But anyway, those are my thoughts on Tress of the Emerald Sea. Those are my non-spoiler thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll go from there. And as always, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of this book down below. Have you already read? Have you been one of the backers that have read it? If so, let me know what you thought down below. And please try to keep the comments spoiler-free in the comment section, because this won't be released until April to Tor and traditional publishing. So please try and keep any comments spoiler-free in the comment section down below. And like, comment, subscribe. I've got a channel set up on my Discord to talk spoilers of Tress of the Emerald Sea. If you want to join me on my Discord, we could definitely chat there. Spoilers for sure. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, until next time, keep on reading. Bye!